understand that we are put on earth to love. That's all it's about. Everybody want to figure out how complicated life is and break it down. This is what I truly think. I really think that.
I'm about to say something that is probably wild. A lot of y'all probably won't take this seriously, and I understand. I really think that everybody in the HBCU media space has undermined Coach Jackson and Coach Clark at Delaware State just a little too much. They have slept on them just a little too much. Now, they aren't contenders for Atlanta this year, right? That's not what this video is about. But offensively, you cannot convince me after looking at this team and the returning starters that they have on offense that they cannot be the fastest offense in HBCU ball. You cannot convince me that Delaware State can't go out here and be the Cincinnati Bengals of HBCU football, meaning they'll put up points. The offense is fantastic, that they just don't have it defensively yet. They just aren't a threat defensively yet. And they will be because they have pieces. They just don't have the entire unit. I'm about to break down these players, right? These notable transfers and these returning players that went over a lot of people's heads. And I want you to keep in mind that when I read off the stats of these players, because they aren't eye-popping, right? Keep in mind, Marquise Adams, who was the Lamar Jackson type quarterback that they had, who's now in the transfer portal, but that they had, right? He was injured for the majority of the season. So these weapons that now is at Kaden Bennett's disposal, they were like working with the second, maybe even third string quarterback for the entire season. These guys are legitimate weapons. So of course we'll start with the quarterback. Coach Jackson made the biggest splash in the transfer portal just a couple days ago by getting former Sacramento State quarterback Kaden Bennett, who is 6 feet, 190 pounds, just an overall dual threat quarterback. Now, I don't think he played last year, but the season before, this is the guy who had 2,100 yards passing, 16 touchdowns, 577 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns on the ground. Oh, by the way, he also beat a Power 4 team in Stanford. Yeah, that's right. He has an upset under his belt over a Power 4 team, which he was largely responsible for. So he has it under his belt. And he also led Sacramento State to the second round of the FCS playoffs. This is a baller. What a way, right? What a way to start up your offense. You lose Marquise Adams and you get this kid who's better. Okay. That's a great piece already. Now let's look at Kyrie Ben, all right? The first wide receiver we'll talk about. 6'1", 180, redshirt junior. He reminds me of Jared Halsey. Now, when I say that name, a lot of y'all ain't gonna know who that is. Jared Halsey, if you remember just a couple years back, I made a video saying the most underrated wide receiver in HBCU ball at the time was Jared Halsey. He was at Delaware State. He made acrobatic catches that it was very underappreciated. That's my guy, man. Shout out to Jared. But he reminds me of him. See, Kyrie last season had 25 receptions, 256 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, if you remember, I said these stats ain't gonna wow you because they were without their star quarterback for the majority of the season. So that's what he had, right? But while you watching that tape, what do you see? What do you see? Let me ask y'all, because I'll tell you what, I see an explosive route runner. I see a twitchy route runner, right? I see a guy who has great concentration, and I see a guy who has tremendous ball tracking skills. That is his first weapon. In this offense. Let's get to his second. Nige Lolly, 6'1", 195, redshirt senior. He's experienced, right? 38 receptions, 545 yards, 1 touchdown. The stats ain't gonna wow you. Just keep that in mind, but look at the tape. Look at what these guys are doing. I call him 7-Eleven, right? Because he ain't the fastest in that wide receiver room at Delaware State, even though he's far from slow. But he ain't the fastest, right? But he stays open. This kid finds a way to get. It don't matter what coverage you use, right? If you ain't doubling him, if this is a one-on-one situation, he's getting open. And he's going to get open early. He's going to get open late. It doesn't matter. He's just going to be open. And I'll tell you one thing. Gang tackling better be a priority because this kid is almost guaranteed to break the first tackle. Almost always guaranteed to break the first tackle. It can't be one-on-one. Your corner better be a damn sure tackler or he's going to get more yards, which is an underrated part of his game, the yak yardage, I would say. Now let's look at running back. And we'll go back to wide receiver because I ain't done. But let's look at running back. So we know about Jaden Sutton and what he did last year. But in what Jaden Sutton did, right, y'all forgot about Marquise Gillis. Marquise, 6 feet, 200 pounds, right? Remember when this kid was MEAC Rookie of the Year as a redshirt freshman? Remember that? Remember when he was second team all conference and he had 500 and I believe 537 yards as a freshman, right? Comes back the next year, has 143 carries. His role grows bigger in the offense. He then gives you more production with 732 yards on the ground. Okay, averaging 5.1 yards per carry and 5 touchdowns. The kid is amazing. He can hurdle you. He can juke you. That is a uber athletic running back right there. And we know Delaware State's history with creating great running backs. And it goes back even past Simeon Wilkerson. He got hurt last year. I believe he only played in 2 games. They were really hit hard by injuries. Delaware State was really hit hard by injuries. So we look at that team last year and we think, oh, they weren't anything. Guys, that's not the case. He's back. Now let's go back to wide. Edward Core, 6'3", 230, junior tight end. Last year, 12 catches, 100 yards, only played in 4 games. He's another one who didn't even get to play a full season last year. Only played in 4 games. 5 catches versus Wagner, which was a season high for him. Okay, his kid can line up at wide receiver. He's a red zone killer. I mean, he can gash you. He's the type of guy who, because Delaware State has the weapons now, right? So many on the outside, you will forget about him. And on a play like 3rd and short or in the red zone, he'll gash you. And last but not least, right? He's a matchup nightmare for linebacker. A matchup nightmare because he can run routes like a wide receiver. He can move like a wide receiver. You can line him up on the outside if you want to. So your linebacker have to be ready. Whoever it is, when that matchup is present, your linebacker had better be good in coverage. Going back to the running backs, Jaden Jenkins. Jaden Jenkins is a gadget guy. Let's call it for what it is, right? He's a gadget guy. This is his last year of eligibility. He's 5'10", 185. When you think of jet sweeps, when you think of little screens, right? When you think of just ways to get him the ball on the outside, that's what he does. You put him in space. Now, he did play in all 12 games last year, but like I said, you have a guy like Jaden Sutton, who's the bigger, stockier back, and he's the star back. He's getting the bulk of those carries. But you just get Jaden Jenkins in space, which the last coaching regime failed to do successfully. And, of course, he could also contribute through the air as well. I mean, 16 receptions, 70 yards and a touchdown. He can give you something both ways. You just have to put him in the right scheme. You just have to scheme him right and give him the ball in space. Rarely ever do I talk about offensive linemen, but I have to talk about an offensive lineman. Number one, they got 3 who are seniors, I believe, right? So I think they have, about 3 upperclassmen on that offensive line that they brought back, right? In this one, Isaiah Cook is nasty. If I put an offensive lineman on a video and it's not a recruiting class breakdown, he deserves to be there. Let me show y'all this man. 6'3", 300, right? Redshirt senior. The only words that I have for Mr. Isaiah Cook is wow. How nasty, man. How nasty. I love a offensive lineman who isn't nonchalant. I love an offensive lineman who is a bully, who's mean, who's aggressive, whose highlight tape can just make you go, oh my goodness. Because how often do you get excited to watch an offensive lineman? Highlights or not, how often do you get excited? He wants to take you to the ground. His job isn't done unless he has you on the ground. Do you understand me? He's one of those offensive linemen that he will bully you, and he dares you to say something after the play. He dares you to say something. That is the type of offensive lineman that you love to have right there. That man is athletic. He doesn't really need no help on the double team, but if he does get it, you're out of the play completely. But if it's one-on-one, man, it's over with. This kid is athletic. This kid can even play tackle, if I'm being honest with you. Does he have the height for that? Not exactly. But this is the college level, so you're a little bit more forgiving of that. But he's, you put him at guard, you can put him at tackle. He can move around this offensive line. And who knows where he'll be potentially next season. But I just know this is their top offensive lineman. Isaiah Cook is a dog, man. He can neutralize the best of them. Then you think about the last 2 guys that I'm going to talk about, Jaden Robinson and Kobe Boykin. Kobe Boykin being a transfer from Jackson State, one of the many athletes that Jackson State received in that recruiting class. However, we all know the story of how that went, right? Travis Terrell ended up being the guy as a true freshman. So, you kind of want to go in elsewhere where you can get playing time, because here's the thing. Travis Terrell is special, but so is Kobe Boykin too. Kobe Boykin just didn't get the opportunity to prove that at Jackson State, but he's going to have that opportunity now at Delaware State. So, Jaden Robinson, the number 1 HBCU true freshman on my top 10 freshman list. I had him there for a reason. Coming from Long Beach Poly in California, for obvious reasons, he was going to go follow Coach Jackson. And y'all better be looking out for that because Coach Jackson going and tapping into that West Coast and getting Long Beach Poly talent, that could come back to bite y'all, MEAC. We gotta expand recruiting wise. I don't know. We gotta get the budget up because if he really starts tapping into the West Coast, it's over with. Okay. Now, Jaden Robinson, elite speed, elite athleticism, elite acceleration. This kid, by all means, is dynamic. This kid is going to be the star for Delaware State. I'm calling that. I'm very confident in saying that. Like I said, he's number one. He's the number one HBCU freshman in this year's class to me. That's just where I had him. So I don't know where we'll be with playing time with him, but me personally, that ain't a kid that you redshirt. I don't think you'll see Jaden Robinson redshirted this year. They're gonna find a way to get him in. So he's gonna have snaps at offense. I think the majority of the time he's just gonna be I'm gonna kick return, punt return to start off with, but you're going to see him on offense because you just have to find a way to get that kid the ball. That is a future star, and I think Coach Jackson knows that. I think that's why they went that far out to get him because they know what he can bring to the table early on, right? So I'll finish this video by saying this. Looking at all those weapons, you tell me what would stop Delaware State from being one of the top offenses in HBCU ball. This isn't last year's team. These guys are it, man. On paper, it's important to say that. These guys are it. And I, for one, had fun just breaking down this offense. Now, as for Antonio Gates Jr., right, I don't really know because I didn't see him on the roster on the website, so I can't confirm or deny if he's still there yet. If he is, that's even worse. That's even worse for the rest of the MEAC, right? But if he's not, regardless, they still look damn good offensively. So, guys, all I got to say is this ain't the same Delaware State team. And I am very excited to see how they play. I would actually love to attend the game. So I might have to reach out to their SID because I would love to go to Delaware State and attend the home game just to see how those guys get down over there. I'm infatuated with this offense. I'm infatuated with this program right now. So with that being said, y'all are watching the BlitzCity podcast. I'm your host, Kobe Orr. Let me know your thoughts below on what I just shown you about Delaware State. And with that being said, I'll catch y'all next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.